If you can't focus, if you're always distracted, the guy who is hungry is gonna work harder than you and is going to take your spot. In this video, Mark Tilbury is going to explain how to get ahead of 99% of men. So let's see what he has to say.
I'm just going to say it. Most men are weak. So weak, they can't even concentrate for more than 10 seconds. Admit it, you've already scrolled down the comments to see what other people are saying.
He's got a point. Honestly, most people, men or women, they cannot focus for like 10 minutes. But if you want to start an online business, you want to make 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year, you want to live this kind of amazing lifestyle you see influencers showing you all day long on Instagram, do you honestly think you'll be able to get to that point without a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifices? Obviously, the answer is no. It's starting my own online business instead of going to university that has allowed me to build this kind of life for myself. But trust me, there's a lot of work that goes into making this happen, and it didn't happen overnight.
You need to work on your willpower. You will never reach your full potential or outwork your rivals if you can't focus for long periods of time.
That's completely true. Honestly, in business, the reason why most people they don't succeed is because they simply can't focus. They're so distracted. They're trying to do some work, but they've got all sorts of notifications popping up on their screen, and they also have so many bad habits holding them back, preventing them from succeeding. Let's say they have a meeting tomorrow at 7 a.m. and they could potentially make $1,500 if they sign that deal. But you know what? Instead of going to sleep early and making sure that they sleep properly to have energy for their meeting tomorrow, what they decide to do instead is to go and play video games or watch Netflix until 3 to 4 a.m. And then when they're not making money, they're not signing clients on the calls. They wonder, what am I doing wrong? Is it a business tactic? It's not. Some people might think that it's a bit woo-woo or that it doesn't make any sense, but honestly, you attract what you put out. You attract who you are. And by this, what I mean is that, for instance, if I had a lot of garbage in the background, would people take my videos seriously? Obviously not. The image that you portray, it actually matters. When you arrive in a sales meeting, you're sleep deprived. Your brain isn't going to work the right way. You won't be as sharp. You won't make the right decisions. You won't say the right thing at the right time. Your prospect on the other hand of the call is going to feel it, and most likely you won't get that sale. Now, if you don't believe me, try going to a sales meeting sleep deprived, and then try also going to a sales meeting after having slept 8 to 9 hours and feeling very energized. The difference is night and day. And honestly, he's right. Business is about beating other people. If you can't focus, if you're always distracted, the guy who is hungry is gonna work harder than you and is going to take your spot. A lot of people in life, they choose to adopt the victim mentality, to say that it's not their fault if they don't have the type of life that they want. It's not their fault if this and that happened in their life. And that might be true. Like if your parents treated you poorly when you were a child, that's not your fault. However, is it still your responsibility to deal with it? Obviously, because at the end of the day, who is going to solve your own problems? Who is going to come and to help you to improve your life? Nobody. It's all on you. And I'm not saying it's fair or it's not fair. I'm saying that's how the world is.
Real masculinity isn't toxic, and that's why you need to have a deep respect for women.
And I would even go as far as saying a deep respect for people in general. Sure, some people are dicks. They're gonna treat you like shit. Does it mean that you should be a dick too? Not necessarily. I personally admire the people who can stay kind and humble even though they have been treated very badly by many people all over their lives. Because those people, what they show is that they have self-control. When you just lash out at somebody, the only thing it's showing is that you lack self-control. And if you want to make a lot of money, you want to have a very successful business, you will need to be a leader. And people will not follow a leader who doesn't actually follow what he preaches and who doesn't even believe in the things that he's doing. But more than that, if the leader is absolutely horrible to work with, he treats everybody badly, he takes all the credit, he doesn't care about other people, how long do you think is going to last? In my experience, not very long. The best types of CEOs, they treat everybody the same. They treat the janitor with the same respect than they do with the COO, because they understand that if somebody likes you, they're so much more likely to do things for you. If somebody hates you, they despise you, they will get in your way. And that is why you always want to be respectful with everyone, not just women. And also, to be honest, you don't know what people's story is like. Like on social media, all of the time, I see so many hateful comments on my videos, on other people's videos, and that especially happens on shorts. I don't know why, but in the shorts comment sections, haters love to tell what they think, but nobody cares. And that's the thing. They write down those hateful comments because they're hiding behind a computer screen, so they're being cowards, and also they don't even know the story of the person. So they attack somebody for literally no reason. But let me tell you one thing, millionaires, billionaires, successful people, they don't go and hate on others because they know what it takes to put in the work day in, day out. And to be honest, they're too busy to be hating on other people.
If you want to be the person to strike it big in your family, then you need to watch what most people are doing and do the opposite. This is a pretty simple idea, because if you do what everyone else does, then you're going to get the same results.
And I completely agree 100%. You can't expect to want to make 6 or even 7 figures a year, hell, even 8 figures a year, and at the same time you go and do what everybody else does. You go to university, you get a good job, you get massively in debt, you get a mortgage, and you hope that one day you'll become a millionaire. Because you know, you listen to some guy on YouTube who said that you should never buy a $5 Starbucks coffee, and instead you should make it at home, save everything you can all of your life, and invest $200 a month in the stock market. And you know, luckily one day you'll be able to retire with $1 million or $2 in the bank, and finally you'll be able to enjoy life. You know, when you're old and you need someone to help you to go to the bathroom. Now tell me, what kind of life is that? The goal is to enjoy your wealth as young as possible, because honestly, what actually tells you guarantees you that you'll make it till 70 years old? Nothing, technically speaking. So stop wasting your time and get started now. And honestly, you know what? If you don't, somebody else will, and he's going to take the success, the clients, the money, the life that could have been yours. You know, it's okay to feel some jealousy. Like a lot of people are going to say, oh, if you see a supercar in the streets, or if you see those influencers living an incredible life, you shouldn't be jealous. You should just be inspired. And that might be true, but at the same time, it's alright if you feel jealous. It's alright if somewhere deep inside of you, you think, why don't I have this life? I could do better than this dude. That's your competitive instinct. You want to nourish it. If anything, you want to be grateful for it because it's waking you up. If you hate your current life circumstances, so you feel dissatisfied, maybe you feel angry, maybe you even feel kind of depressed, be thankful that those feelings are here in the first place. You know why? Because unlike a lot of people are going to say, your feelings should not be repressed. You shouldn't try to forget that they are here. Instead, they are trying to deliver a powerful message to you. They're trying to tell you that your current circumstances, they're not right for you. And until you accept that message that your emotions are telling you, and then you put in the work day after day to change your situation, then nothing will change. At the end of the day, nothing changes if nothing changes. And to be honest, it's so easy to want the dream lifestyle, to want to make millions of dollars and to be free. I've always wanted those things. And one day I realized actually wanting this kind of life, it doesn't make me special. What makes you special is doing the work day after day, putting in all the necessary sacrifices to get to that goal. But it is not going to happen overnight and without a lot of sacrifices and perseverance.
You also need to be prepared to fail fast. When I was growing my wealth, I really didn't worry about if I was doing everything perfectly. It's much better to just get started and then learn from your mistakes.
You know, I'm a massive perfectionist, and sometimes I literally overthink about even the smallest subjects. But when I wanted to start a business, I realized, okay, I need to stop overthinking. I need to stop being such a perfectionist. I know some people, they joke about being a perfectionist is not an actual flaw, but in my experience, believe me, it can quickly turn into a flaw. Because being a perfectionist, it does not mean you like when your work is done well. In my own experience, it means you want to be so perfect that you don't even do anything. You don't get started. Or when you do, it takes you forever to finish. And in business, you need to move fast. And the reason why is because there is another guy and he is hungry for more. He wants the same things as you do. And remember what we said earlier, business is simply about beating other people. Why? Because you need to provide the market with a solution to the problem. And if somebody else feels that need before you do, he'll get the money and you won't.
A great way to do this is to make reversible decisions fast. I learned this rule from Jeff Bezos, as he said that with a decision that you can go back on, your biggest risk is dragging your feet and not making a decision.
This is going to be so helpful for the overthinkers and for the procrastinators. Make a decision right now. Commit yourself to following one path, to sticking to one opportunity for a set amount of time. And then if you realize, you know what, that's not the right thing to do, you can always pivot and make another decision. You can change what you do. You're not stuck. Like so many people, they've told me, I don't want to get started because I don't want to fail. Or I'm afraid to do this or that because I might fail. But when you think about it logically, it makes no sense. That excuse is not valid. Because if you don't even get started, your failure rate is 100%. So there's literally no chance that you'll be successful. So get started anyway. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything in the perfect way. My YouTube videos are not perfect, but that is by making more and more YouTube videos that I'm going to get better and better and better at making them.
If you never fail, then you're not trying hard enough. I enjoy skiing with my son, and I remember one year we competed to see who could fall the least. I won as Curtis fell over a lot. However, he improved tremendously and now he's much faster than me.
I like to say that if when you work out you're not sweating, you're not exercising hard enough. And the same concept can be applied to business. If you don't fail enough times, you don't make enough mistakes, you might not be working hard enough. You might not be giving it your everything. I really try my best to learn from everyone and every possible situation. A lot of people, they think they can only learn from people who are already successful. In reality, you can literally learn from everybody. From successful people, you can learn what to do, you can follow in their footsteps. But from people who are unsuccessful, who don't have what you want, you can learn from them as well. Now sure, you won't learn what to do, but you will learn what not to do. And that is incredibly powerful, because oftentimes you don't know what you don't know. So it is usually a lack of knowledge and of willingness to put in the work day in, day out that keeps most people stuck. And the best way I can illustrate my point is that if you were going to go and have an accident on the road today, if you could know it in advance, you simply wouldn't go there and you wouldn't die today. So you don't know what you don't know. And that is why you need to always keep learning. Most people, they get out of university, they think they're done. That's it. They know everything. They can just go about their day. They can just go on with their life and they will never have to open up a book ever again. Let me tell you, if you want to obtain better results than 99% of people, you'll have to do more. And oftentimes, to reach your goals, you'll need to put in so much more work. It's going to take so much more time and so many more sacrifices than you initially thought. To give you an example, in order to grow this YouTube channel, I publish 2 videos a day. That is a huge amount of work, believe me. And at the time I'm recording this video, I don't even cross the 700 subscriber mark.
Once you've gone through this, you often feel like you know nothing, but you're only smart when you feel like you know nothing.
That's also called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It means that when people start to learn a little bit about a specific subject, they think that they know so much, when in reality they don't, because they just started to discover that subject, to learn about it. But it also means that the more you learn about a specific subject, the more you realize you can learn so much more, and in reality, you don't know anything. That's the funny thing. So if right now you're stuck in a rut, you have no inspiration, you don't know what to do, you have no more ideas, think about it again, because you can always do more, you can always do better. You just need to figure out how.
As they just can't face failure. It's too painful for them, so they end up blaming other people. That's why my next rule is never complain. Even if your whole world is crumbling, complaining to the world won't do anything positive for you. I'm not saying you can't express your feelings, but it's important to remember we all have our own problems and not many people care about fixing yours.
No one is going to save you. That's what you need to realize. If right now you're always complaining about your life and you're essentially acting like a victim. And I get you, it's hard to take responsibility for everything in your life, because you need to understand this big distinction between it's your fault and it's your responsibility. It's not your fault if when you were a child you grew up low income. It's not your fault if when you were a child your parents abused you. It's not your fault if your car broke down today, although it can be depending on the situation. It's not your fault if you're born in this country instead of this other country. However, is it your responsibility to deal with each of those things? Yes, 100%. Because at the end of the day, nobody is going to come and solve those problems for you. Nobody's going to come and to fix your car for free. Nobody's going to come and to give you $1 million so that you can be rich and successful and enjoy life. It doesn't work like this. In this world, people like to think that they're free. However, in reality, freedom is not even a birthright. That's what they sell you in the media or in politics. In reality, freedom is earned. It is not given. And the reason I say that is because when you don't have much money, you don't have much freedom. But at the same time, you have to be careful, because you can be making more money than most people will ever see, and at the same time still be enslaved. Now you may wonder, how could that be possible? If money makes you free, because it is the currency of freedom in this world, then how come having more money could make you more of a slave? And that's because, let's say you're a CEO or a professional, you work for a big corporation, you make 6 figures a year, you have $2,000 suits, and you drive a nice Audi or Mercedes to the office every day. However, you work 80 to 90 hours a week. You have no time to see your family, to see your friends, to follow through your hobbies, and to do all of the things that you want to do, to enjoy life. When you're on vacation, you're constantly replying to work emails and text messages that you never really get time to rest and to unwind. So yes, you might be making more money than most people, but at the end of the day, are you more free? Not really. And that is why, in my opinion, if you want to actually have freedom, you need to start your own online business. Because in order to be free, you need the ability to make your own choices. And when you have a business, you are the one who controls every possible variable. That's also why I don't like the idea of being in debt, because when you are in debt, even if it is what experts call good debt, meaning you invested in real estate or in the stock market or in starting a company with that money that you took out as a loan, for instance, but at the same time you owe somebody money. So how much freedom do you actually have? Not that much, because what if you couldn't pay it back? There is always that possibility, even if you are a smart and wise investor. Do you really think that Warren Buffett never made any mistakes in his investment career? Obviously he did. Everyone does. Even billionaires, they cannot predict exactly how the stock market is going to go. They can simply take a guess, and most often than not, they will be accurate because they know what they're doing, but they can still fail and lose millions of dollars. But bottom line, complaining about your situation, it's not going to fix it. One day I had this shift in mindset. I realized I can either just sit there, complain, be depressed, be miserable, or I can just stop having excuses and do what the hell it takes to reach my goals. And I decided to pick that option, because at least I would have a chance of becoming successful and of making my my dreams happen. Whereas if I just chose to complain, nothing was ever going to change for me.
However, it's important you own your mistakes without exceptions.
You know, when you own up to your mistakes, when you admit that you fucked up, that you messed this thing up, most people are going to highly respect you for it. Because honestly, you need to put your ego aside to accept when you messed up, to accept when you were wrong. And most people, they're not willing to do that. They're too attached to their fragile egos. But if you can admit when you make mistakes, you learn from your mistakes, and most people will deeply respect you. Now, if you want to join the top 1%, you want to make 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year, you want to live a crazy life that when you wake up every morning, you feel so damn grateful for having. In my opinion, the way to reach that is to start your own online business. So if you want to start your own online business, you just have no clue what to do, I have recorded a free video in which I analyze every popular online business model. Together we take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I am also going to share with you the 3-step process that you can follow to start landing your first customers literally today. The link is in the description below if you are interested. And with that said, as always, I wish you the best in your entrepreneurship journey, and I am waiting for you on the other side.